What's going on, motherfuckers? It's your boy Do My Rittenbacher here again. I'm gonna do a quick video, or it might be quick, I don't know. I'm not gonna show a lot of the work, but I'm gonna show the steps and the process of taking a Riviera center console and putting it into a 93 to 96 Cadillac Fleetwood. Now, as far as the work itself, it's gonna be the same as like any other B body or anything like that. The only thing that might be different is the actual cuts you have to make in the fitment, and that's gonna be I almost want to say a preference thing. Like you can follow what I'm going to do here for a Fleetwood, but you might want yours to fit a little different or sit slightly a little in a slightly different spot. So let's go over that. I'll show you guys the main things that you got to do. And first off, I'm gonna start off with the bench seat. So let's check it out. All right, so excuse the mess here, but as you can see, this is a stock Fleetwood seat steel, and all I did was fold this under, and it's like tucked underneath here, and you can staple it to the old leather. And let me see, hold on, rip this out because I just got it tied. There we go. As you see, all I did was slice the foam up. I don't want to tear it up because I got it tucked and stuff, but I sliced the foam, and there's a metal bracket that comes all the way over. It's just a little bar. You could just cut it with I'm gonna have to go and do that nicer now, but you could just cut it with a die grinder or anything you want, and that's literally it. Like, it's not a huge process to turn this into a bench seat. It's just a bar and some foam. So cut the foam, I recommend, with a super sharp knife or a razor blade or something, or anything that won't like start throwing shit because it's flammable. And another thing you're gonna have to do to the car, granted I didn't do it, I'm gonna do it this time around. I'm actually gonna do it here in a moment, and I think it looks cleanest when you cut it here. This here is where the console will interfere with the glove box, so you can cut it here right on the console and you won't see the cut, but I'm debating cutting it here just because it might look super clean matching this where the vent separates from the airbag location. And your trunk button is in there, so you probably want to like take that out and move it. All right, so here's my new console here. It already matches my interior in my car pretty good, so I'm switching to this one here. This is the old one, it's gutted, so we got to take this one to where this is, otherwise it's going to be a pain in the butt to work with. So the first thing you do, you got these Phillips screws here. I believe they're 7 or 8 mils if you want to use the socket, the hex head portion of them. But yeah, oh, that's broken, sweet, whatever. This one was too. But yeah, so take these out. Take this out. This just clips in. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna double check. I think there's a couple screws on like this stuff here. But yeah, it's fairly simple. You gotta take all these little bolts out. Just make sure you don't miss any bolts. I'll let you guys know how many there are in just a second. All right, so this here, that front plate, it just comes right off. It's got these pressure clips on it. They sit in there. They're somewhat snug, but just make sure you don't twist this up too bad because it will break and snap on you. I broke mine on the corners right here, and if you wanted to, you could probably fix it with JB weld or plastic weld or something, but the best way to fix it is to not break it. So there's that. And now I'm about to this part here, I got the screws out. Those are broken, so fuck them, but I got the screws out that do work. It just lifts up. I don't want to break this, so I'm going to oh, okay, that comes off pretty simple too. But I'm going to pull that out so this doesn't break, and I'm going to have to use both my hands to do that. So put you guys down for a second, but this all comes out. I'm pretty sure it's just pressure clips at this point. So I did this 2 years ago, so bear with me while I try to remember this shit as I take it apart. All right, yeah, this was just all clips, came right up. I started pulling the harness out there, but it's stuck behind the 6-disc changer. So these are just I don't know if you can see them, but more it's not gonna focus on this, too dark, but there's 2 7 mils down here. Take that out, and then you'll be able to pull the harness and the 6-disc changer out. might be able to sell that thing or put it in something else. I don't know what the fuck I can't use it for this car. So I don't have CDs because it's 2020. But yeah, that's kind of cool. I could probably keep that. But yeah, so we finished taking this stuff out. It's just a couple more bolts. And then the fun stuff after that. Alright, so I got this all busted down. I know where I got to start cutting, but just for the video sake, I'm going to go ahead and put this console in now so you can see where everything doesn't line up and where you have interference with it, just like going in without doing anything else. So I'm going to do that now, and then after that, I'm going to make the first cut and show you guys where I cut it myself for how I like it to sit. So here we go. Alright, so as you see, there's a few things that interfere right off the bat. You got this metal block here. You gotta get rid of that. Obviously, that's got to go bye-bye. That's just these 7mm. I don't know what that attaches to in the Riviera. I think it's the radio or something. But this connects that to the whole main thing. You don't need that. And then obviously you got to take these off here. And then after you get past that, even then it's going to be super high. So depending on preference, you might be okay with this, but you're also going to get that gap there. Excuse the dirty carpet. But yeah, you're going to get that gap there. So the best way to combat that is to start trimming here. It's going to bring it down, and you want this to cut like that. So that brings the front of it down. It's going to move that. And then in the back, it'll come down more too. So that's where we're at now. I'm going to start, I'm going to cut these things off up here, take that off. And then before I cut down here, I'm going to let you guys see where it would sit if you don't adjust anything else. As you see, we're about to run in right here. We're going to run into the, what's the name. But instead of cutting this up here, it's best to cut it down here because that hits the floor. So, all right, let's start modding this thing. All right, so as you see, this still doesn't, that's as far forward as that's going to go. So, you got two options here. You can cut the top, or you can cut the bottom. Personally, I choose to cut the bottom because, as you see, this is high as fuck. So you cut the bottom, that all drops down, and then you get more clean, like shit. So yeah, I'm about to start trimming a little bit. The best way to do it, in my opinion, you know, this floor narrows right here. So start it like 1 inch and try and curve the cut up like that. That way it's a smooth transition. It actually looks like you kind of know what you're doing, even though I don't. But you know, shit happens. So I'm gonna start trimming that, and as you see over there, see how close that is. I'm gonna do it a little bit better than that because that was too low. I had space, like up front it's good, but I had spacing back there. So I can cut that front one all the way close like that, but the back one has to be a little bit more. So let's work on that. All right, so after my first cut, as you see there, this light makes that shit look so red compared to that. I promise in real life it looks like it's damn near the same color. But yeah, I got that cut right here. I just gotta trim a little bit more here. So I'm gonna make a cut this direction. As you see, it's just a little far out. So just cut this edge a little bit. I can see it's high spotting because it's like tight here. So once I do that, this will come down snug and it will close that hole there. And that will be it. And again, like I said, just trim it to how you want it to fit. You can always cut more. You can never uncut. So always just cut a little bit at a time. If you're 100% sure it's where you are, still cut a little bit short, because I was pretty sure that I had to cut a little more, but I figured it'd be safer to sell myself a little short and go back in and get some more real estate. So that's my next step. I'm gonna trim that a little bit more, and then I'm gonna show you guys mounting solutions. Granted, I just have mine sitting in there. I don't have it physically bolted to the car because the fucking thing doesn't move. Like if you cut it very tight and snug, the thing can't move. Even now, it's like, and once I have everything back on and that it takes the flex out from having everything in the middle, it doesn't move. It's fucking solid. Plus, it's heavy enough to stay in place. It doesn't squeak, doesn't make any noise, so I don't see a reason to go above and beyond. Now, if your trans is out or whatever, or you just feel like you got enough room, there's as you see, mine are broken, but you would put 2 bolts down through there. I would put longer bolts or put like a little L bracket here. And these you should be able to just drill holes in the floor because they're basically they're right on the carpet. So granted, all mine are broken. Not that I care, but that's how you could mount it if you wanted to physically mount it down. But yeah, well, let me take that last little trim and then I'll be in business. All right, and here we are. Got the new glove box in. I started to mount my shifter. My shifter just mounts to the glove box in a couple spots. I gotta modify this and like transfer all the bracketry I made over. But yeah, that's in there now. So that's pretty cool. And again, it's not perfect, but I don't feel like trying to cut it and get it that much better because I'll have to like lift up the back and all that, or go down a little bit more up here. Could maybe trim this a little more, but I'm happy with this. That's definitely close enough, because I'm probably going to be the only person to notice that. But otherwise, if you wanted to continue to trim and try and make that fit even better, it is a Cadillac, so I wouldn't blame anybody that cared more than I do, but I don't. So I'm gonna give you guys a quick overview of floor shifter things. Obviously here, you just knock this pin out. I put it back in there, but this pin here, you just knock it out of there and the shifter itself comes out. And there's rods and linkages. Give me one moment. And they would normally, those rods and linkages would normally attach right here. It would be a bar that comes down and it attaches down on the side of the trans. As you see here, I just got the B&M cable and bracket for a TH400. Well, that's all I run. That works out pretty good for me. So to each their own. If you got like a factory shift cable and stuff that you want to use and find a way to make that work, go for it. The Blazer shifter, that works pretty good. I'm sure there's other shifters that work just as well, if not better. But at least with the Blazer, say you're still using a 4060, you know that you can just use that same 4060 shift cable and run that down to your shifter. So those are your options. You got to get a little creative as far as what shifter you want to use, but I can't really help you with that. But on my individual one, I was able to just make some extensions and brackets in metal. You can kind of see a piece of one there. Everything's loose, but that goes over to the to that other spot to the left. And that basically sums up the little bit of effort and work it takes to do the console swap. And again, you got to trim your you do have to trim your glove box, but that's up to your discretion. However you would like to do that. You can put the trunk button inside the new glove box, or you can run your own trunk switch, or however you want to do that. So, and I promise you, I'm not oversimplifying this. It really is as easy as I just made it look. It's the easiest thing. You just got to trim a little bit off the front of it. And then depending on if your trans is in the car, or if you feel like tack welding some bolts on the back or something, you can bolt it down to the car. Personally, I don't do that because I take this car apart a lot. And anything that doesn't make noise or move around, it doesn't need to be bolted down to me. But like I said again, to each their own. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. If you got any questions, just PM me on the Facebook page. You can ask Dumar Redenbacher, which is also me, or you can just make a comment on the YouTube channel. So that being said, like, comment, share, subscribe, ask questions, all that good shit. Don't forget to let that bitch eat. Domestic violence out, baby.